Well, listeners, there is a brand new album out that I'm sure a lot of you will want to check out. This is from a brand new act called Between the Sunset and Sunrise. The album is called In the Middle of Chaos, and we thought to find out a little bit more about this today, we would actually get the man behind the band on the phone to chat a little bit about it. So welcome to the program, Diupt.
Hello, thanks for having me.
No worries. So tell us a little bit about this project. How did Between the Sunset and Sunrise start for you?
Well, it all started very recently, a couple months ago, I would say, when I wanted to just create something similar, inspired by the depressive, suicidal black metal scene, the SBM, if you like. And since I've been always a huge fan of this genre, of this very particular scene, I basically decided to do it, just make a leap of faith and do it. So that's how it started.
Okay. So the whole DSBM genre, tell us a little bit about how you discovered that. Has it been something that you've listened to your entire life, or is it something that you've kind of discovered in more recent years?
Pretty much, now, I wouldn't say my whole life, but pretty much over a decade, I would say. That's not the only genre I'm listening to. I'm listening to all kinds of metal, but when it comes to black metal, I would say I have a soft spot for this kind of genre.
Yeah. What is it that attracts you to the genre? Is it the atmosphere? Is it the lyrics themselves? What is it that attracts you to the genre?
The experience I'm going through while listening to that kind of genre, and especially the vocals. The great bands out there with these very, very unfiltered and raw vocals that they create that sense of desperation, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
And in terms of music, it's the atmosphere and the ambience, the whole feelings that the feels that this music creates, you know.
Yeah. So when you first started to sit down and work on the tracks that we now hear on In the Middle of Chaos, tell us a little bit about how you approached that. What kind of things were you using for inspiration when you sat down to work on these tracks?
Well, this whole album is very experiential, so I'm inspired directly by my experiences and hard times, especially for the last couple of years. So it felt right because I was going through some hard times, especially the last 2 years. So it felt right to just draw inspiration from my personal experiences and mainly lyrically. Musically, I just tried to fit the music to the lyrics.
Yeah. Lyrically, did you find that an easy experience? Like, did you find it easy to write about your own experiences, or did you find that a difficult thing to do?
It's natural. Came to me in a very natural way. I tend to not write by experience. I usually, as a songwriter, I'm trying to tell a story, or I read something. I'm trying to speak. Trying to speak under different voices and everything, but this time I decided to take it on the personal way, just to express my inner thoughts, to communicate my own feelings. It felt very natural, and it was fairly easy, I would say.
Yeah, there's a very poetic feel to this album, but also a very, very unique atmosphere created with the music. Was that something that you were aware of when you were working on these tracks?
Not at all. I initially was going for DSBM, but eventually I'm not even sure if you can name it DSBM after all, because there are there's a twist of brightness in the album. There's more ambience that you can usually find in this kind of genre. So yes, it's inspired by DSPM, but after all, sounds more like post-depressive, maybe post-melodic black metal.
Yeah. Well,
if there's such genre.
What do you think caused that? Was it just the evolution of the music that you were working on, or what do you think actually caused that?
It's the natural way of composing. I'm trying not to stop myself when I feel that the music while composing is going somewhere. There are always limits you can put to yourself while composing to just stick to the genre and not like go far away from it. But for me, it's better to just when composing and the song is going somewhere, just follow the song, follow your gut where it goes, where it's going. So it's very natural, and I think it happens to a lot of composers out there.
Yeah.
When they start to write something, it could end up be something very different, and to me that's acceptable. That's fine. Just go with it. If it sounds okay, just leave it as is.
Yeah, definitely. And it was interesting that you said before that you wrote the lyrics first and then kind of wrote the music to match the lyrics, because so many bands these days seem to do that the opposite way. How did you find that experience of then creating music to match the lyrics that you'd already written?
I usually do it the opposite way, but to be honest, it wasn't exactly like lyrics and then music. It was kind of going hand to hand. So the lyrics were kind of dictating the whole vibe, and I had a few drafts of lyrics that were definitely not the finished ones, the final lines and everything. But let's say it was maybe 50-60% lyrics at first, and then a few riffs, themes and everything, and then just it was going, hand to hand. So I found it pretty interesting. It wasn't the first time I'm doing it as a songwriter or composer.
Yeah.
But when I have to choose, I usually prefer to go the other way around. First music first, and then just lyrics to match the vibe.
You also did this all yourself as well. Like everything that you hear here is your own work. How much pressure did you feel that put on you, or did you just feel that it was okay to go that way because you just work on it when you were in the mood to work on it?
Both. There was some kind of pressure because this, when you are all by yourself, you basically have the whole responsibility of the sound and the whole responsibility of everything. But at the same time, this is kind of liberating because you don't rely on anyone, so you can choose your own times, on whenever you want to work on it. And there is a symbolism in the name as well of the band. Between sunset and sunrise, everything took place between sunset and sunrise. So because I'm a night owl myself,
yep,
I do everything late at night while the city is asleep. I just sit here in my home studio and I'm doing everything: recording, composing, mixing, mastering, everything. So
wow. That is absolutely amazing. And I guess also with the album now about to come out, what are your plans going forward? Are you already working on more music for Between the Sunset and Sunrise, or do you think, what are those plans?
I actually am. Next step would be for new music. In terms of new music, the next plan would be to finish a full-length album with new songs, not these ones, and maybe release in the first quarter of 25. But at the moment, I'm composing. I'm just drafting a few songs for the full length, because this mini album is just a taste of the sound I want to achieve and what I want to communicate, but I believe it deserves a full length album just to establish a sound.
Definitely. Well, it is absolutely amazing what you have created within the middle of chaos. So I guess to finish off, what would you like to say to our listeners who are about to sit down and take a listen to this album for the first time?
I would like them to just take their time and listen to the album actively and not passively, or just not have it in the background. It's definitely not a background kind of album. So I would like to thank them in advance for listening to my music anyway. But if they do, just listen to it actively and try to, feel what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to communicate over there.